Hi all. If you're a returning viewer, welcome back. If you are new, welcome. My name is Amira and my channel is all about trying new makeup, talking about new makeup, but also finding new and exciting ways to be inspired by the makeup you already own. If that sounds good to you, I hope you will consider subscribing, and if you enjoyed today's video, hitting the like button. Today, guys, we're going to talk about my makeup collection. And if I were starting from scratch, if I was not an OG makeup lover, makeup collector, makeup connoisseur, what would I start off with? If I was just zero products, what would I buy? Let's get into it. Little capsule pile here of makeup, of things that if I were starting from scratch, I would want to pick up to begin my makeup journey. Some of these are really old, some of them aren't at all, some of them are new, and a lot of them are just faves that I have used a bunch of times that I know are tried and true, and that I would hope that the hypothetical me, who is just starting her makeup game, her makeup journey, her makeup career, would have the smarts to purchase. So let's start off with foundation. I'm not going to start with primer because you guys know I don't really wear primer anymore. When I was first starting with makeup, I wore primer, but I am a sunscreen as primer kind of girl now. So judging from who I am now and this moment in my life, I probably wouldn't buy a primer. I would just keep using my sunscreen and I would look for a foundation and a concealer. So in that vein, I decided that if I was starting from scratch, I would pick up the Kosas Revealer, what's it called? The Kosas Revealer Skin Improving Foundation, and also the Kosas Revealer Extra Creamy Concealer. And these are the two complexion products that I reach for the most currently, and also that I know are good. You know what I mean? Like, I know that these are products that I would recommend to you guys, and I would definitely recommend them to this hypothetical me, and I would say, yeah, girl, get these. Yeah, I think they're great. I kept these, I put these in my top 3 in every category. Both of these were in that. And there's a reason for that. And yeah, I would pick these two up. I think they're really good. They're priced well, I believe. And I think that they're quality. You get a decent amount of product in both. And I think that the color, the match for the foundation and the concealer are pretty spot on for me. So yeah, I would pick these two. Next up, I was thinking about bronzer. And I thought about, would this hypothetical me go for a powder bronzer or a cream bronzer? And I feel like the hypothetical me at this point would go for a cream bronzer. And of course, that for me was a no-brainer. It would be my NARS bronzing cream in the shade Laguna 3. You've seen this many a time. Here she is again. This is what Laguna 3 looks like. I'm not wearing this today. I'm wearing powder today, but that is because I am going to work after this and I'm going to be wearing a mask. So I tend to wear more powder products when I do that, because I don't worry so much about fading, with cream products. Even with powder, sometimes if you're wearing a mask, it can kind of move around. So I picked this for obvious reasons. It's an amazing cream bronzer. It's my favorite cream bronzer. This is a perfect shade. This will probably be my perfect shade until maybe mid to late October, and then I will switch to the OG Laguna, which is a bit cooler, a little bit lighter. But yeah, this is more, Laguna 3 is more my summer shade. And I just love this product. It's hella pigmented. It blends beautifully. You only need a little bit. And I think a makeup newbie version of myself, or at least a makeup purchasing newbie, would appreciate something like this, where it's easy. It's easy to blend. Even though this is really pigmented, I don't think that this is a product that's hard to work with because of the fact that it's easy to blend. You dip your brush in once, you can apply product on both sides of your face with one dip, and you can blend. And I think this is actually pretty user friendly. So yeah, I would go with this one. For blush, I feel like, again, if you guys watch my channel, if you know me, you already know what I picked. My Pat McGrath Desert Orchid. Of course. Again, I'm not wearing this today. It didn't go with the vibe of the look. I will try to remember to put the details of what I'm wearing on my face today. But this is my favorite blush, bar none, as you guys know quite well. And it's a beautiful formula. It's easily blendable. It's pigmented. It looks stunning. I love it. This would definitely be one of the things that I would want to start my collection with. Highlighter. At first I was like, do I want to pick a highlighter? Because I don't really wear highlighter that much anymore, because I have so many highlighters. And honestly, I've been focusing more on glowy blushes, shimmery blushes. Today I'm wearing a shimmery blush combo. So I just don't wear highlighter as much as I used to, but I still appreciate highlighter. I still like highlighter. I just haven't purchased any in a while, and I probably won't, because I just don't. I have a ton. If you saw my highlighter collection video, I have a ton of highlighters and I just don't need any more. But I would want to have at least one that I really enjoyed, that I thought was, you know, special in some capacity. And I was looking at through my little drawers of highlighters, and I have a ton, so I had a lot of options. But the one that kind of stuck out to me was my Pat McGrath Divine Rose Ultra Glow Highlighter. And this is what it looks like. It's stunning. And what I like about this is, the reason why I picked it is because I think it's quite versatile. It has a pinky tone, but it's also quite gold. So I think it would actually go, even though it seems like it's, you know, quite intense, which it is, it has a bit of versatility in the way that it looks on the skin depending on what you pair it with. So for me, I just feel like this would be a really good, beautiful, easy highlighter to wear. You know, I mean, look how pretty that is. I might add a little bit of that to my face today because she's pretty. All right, let's get into eyes and things of that nature. I opted not to pick a mascara or a liner because I think if I were starting from scratch, I'd probably buy a drugstore mascara. I don't think I would dip my toe right away into luxury or higher end mascaras, because I didn't do that when I started buying makeup before. I started off with, you know, drugstore, you know, eye pencils and drugstore mascara, and then I slowly dipped my toe into the higher end items, and I would do the same. At the moment, I don't own any drugstore mascaras. The mascara that I'm wearing right now is the Bite Beauty one. Rest in peace, Bite Beauty. I still have two of the mini mascaras, and I'm working my way through the first two, but this is my favorite mascara. It's now discontinued. But I do believe that mascara is one of those formulas, or one of those products, that they're kind of a dime a dozen. And even though I love this mascara, I'm sure if I looked hard enough, I could probably find one that's comparable, or one that I love just as much. It might take a little while, but I think I could. So for me, mascara is not like that thing where I'm like, I have to find the perfect mascara to start my makeup capsule. I would probably buy like maybe a L'Oreal one, probably the one, what's the one that's really good? I think it's called Exhibitionist. I think that's the name of it. I could be completely off, but it's the one in the silver tube, and it's very nice. I would probably get that one or something like that. And then just like a cheap little pencil just to have. I probably, you know, like a brown. I probably wouldn't get a black. I'd buy a brown one. But those aren't things that I spend a lot of time thinking on. And I don't think that at this point, if I were starting a collection, I would be dipping my toe into colored pencils yet. That's something even for my real makeup journey, I didn't get into until a little bit later. So with that in mind, I focused more on eyeshadows, primer, that type of thing. So if I were starting over, I would get the Natasha Denona eyeshadow base. Mine is annoying because it leaks, and I just think my component is faulty. I think that the lid is kind of cracked on the side, and so as a result, it leaks quite a bit. But this is a really good eyeshadow primer, and I've been using it. I use this every time I do my eye makeup. It's a solid product. I think this is like 22 bucks, 24 bucks, something like that. So it's a little bit on the higher end, but not terrible, in the realm of like eyeshadow primers in like the mid-range. So yeah, I would get this because I do believe that primers matter when it comes to eyeshadow. So I think if you're going to invest in eyeshadow palettes, which if you'll see what I'm picking, you'll know why I mean that. Why I'm saying that. Investing in an eyeshadow palette or palettes, I would want a good primer to set myself up for success. You heard what I said. I said investment, and I thought about it, and I was like, well, the first thing that popped into my mind, the very first palette that popped into my mind, is my Natasha Denona Metropolis. Now, this was discontinued for a really long time, or it was out of stock for a really long time, and then she brought it back, and I don't know if it's still in stock. I don't know. But this is one of my all-time favorite palettes in general. And look at it. And it's such, look how much you get. Do you see what I mean? Like, not only is this like a staple eyeshadow palette for me now, I think this would be a fantastic palette if you're just starting off, because look at the range of tones, the range of colors, the range of textures. You get mattes, you get cream to powders, you get metallics. You get so much here. You get some satin. There's some satins in here as well. You get a lot for your money. And this is an expensive palette. This is a $125 palette. And I think Natasha Denona went up on her prices, so it might be like $129 or something crazy like that now. But this is an expensive palette. And I think that for something like this, if you're going to invest in something like this, it has to, if you're just starting out, I do think it should be something that you can get a lot of use out of. If you're just starting out, like now, I would spend that kind of money on a palette that was more fun, that wasn't as practical, because I have a lot of practical palettes. But if you don't, and you want something that you know you can get a lot of, bang for your buck, this is a fantastic option. And again, it's a beautiful, beautiful palette. It's one of my faves, and the formulations are stunning. So that's one palette. And then I was like, well, I think I would do two palettes. Me being me, even if I was starting from scratch, eyeshadow is the thing that made me fall in love with makeup to begin with. I didn't get into all the other things until a little bit later. But for me, eyeshadow was the thing that grabbed my heart first. And so I think if I were starting from scratch, I would probably have more than one eyeshadow palette. I'd probably have maybe 2 or 3. And then some staple, singular staples around that. So I was having a hard time. I thought of this one, and then I was like, yeah, but I kind of want the other one too, between these two palettes. And so I'm going to show them to you. I'm going to show both of them to you, rather. And I don't know if I can make a choice between the two. So I'm going to allow myself 3 palettes because this is my video and I can do what I want. And so the first one is my Pat McGrath Subliminal Mothership 1. Of course. I mean, I'll show it to you. I think you guys know what this looks like, but I'll show it to you and I'll explain. I mean, I don't feel like I have to. It's my fave right now, and I just think that I would get a lot of use out of this. I think this would come in such handy for me. Look at this. Look at that. Look how pretty it is. Because, and this was my original thought process, so I'll explain it. This is very warm. This is a very warm palette. All of the browns are very warm. This is a very cool tone palette. And the formulas are stunning. So why, I mean, I feel like that covers all the bases, So then I was like, well, what about that other palette that I love so much from Pat McGrath that I thought of second? And I was like, well, I would really want to have that one too. So why not just get them both? My Midnight Sun. Because I mean, look at the special shades. This beautiful matte red. I have a metallic red in the Metropolis. I don't have like this matte, beautiful, look how this shade here, that shade there. Like, I just love this palette. And I don't know, it was 3 palettes popped into my mind for this video, and those are the 3. And I was like, well, yes, sold. I'd buy them all. So those are the palettes. Now lipstick. Okay, so listen. You know how much I love a nude lip. You know how much I love an orange red. Those are my babes as far as like staple tones in lipstick that I reach for again and again. So for me, it was kind of obvious what I would pick. First up would be my Gucci satin. Oh, I just stuck my nail in the door. I'm so sorry, baby. Let me smooth you out. Oh, I hurt her. All right, my Penny Beige, who I just stabbed my fingernail in, but she's still good. She's still good. I don't have much of her left, as you can see. She will be repurchased. Don't you worry. But my beautiful Penny Beige, that is my favorite neutral lipstick of all time. It's my favorite in my collection, but of all time. I thought I lost Los Angeles from Pat McGrath was my favorite of all time for a very long time. It's now been knocked to number 2. It still is in my heart. But Penny Beige just, it just has my heart, and it looks beautiful on my lips. I always love the way my lips look when I wear that. I'm always feeling myself when I wear Penny Beige. She's just a beautiful, beautiful lipstick. And is this an expensive item? Yes. Do I care? No. My other fave that if I were starting from scratch, I would want. Oh, look at that doll. It's so pretty. It's so pretty. Lisa Eldridge Velvet Dragon. Obvi. Obvi. And what I like about those two options, those two choices, that one is a satin, one is a matte. And for me, with a neutral tone lipstick, I would want more of a satin finish. And for something like that red orange, I tend to veer more towards a matte formula. I just think it looks really pretty. And these are two of my favorite lipstick formulas. So not only do I love the tones, but I actually genuinely love the formulas. I think they're beautiful on the lips. This one lasts so well on the lips. You know, for a matte bullet lipstick, it stays. And this one actually isn't too much to, I wouldn't kick this out of bed as far as longevity either, because even though it's a satin formula, it lasts, but it also fades really nicely. So I feel like I would, even though those are higher end products, the quality is there to justify the cost for me. Guys, that is everything that I would pick, that I would repurchase if I was starting from scratch. I own a lot of makeup. There's a lot of things that, when I was pulling things for this video, I was thinking about. And for me, I veered more towards like quality and things that I know, even though they're on the higher end as far as price point, I know that they, for me personally, are worth that price point. So yeah. If you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to hit the like button, guys, and I will see you in the next one. Bye now.